Kia ora, hello, this is Kitty and this is Ordinary Life on Coast Access Radio, and it's me and it's...
Emma!
And hello! We're going to be talking about, well, it's not really my favourite subject.
Yeah, talking about having fun with Parkinson's.
Fun with Parkinson's. We both live with a chronic illness. It's not really the best. Neither of us are doctors or, medical professionals, so please don't think that any of this is actually formal advice or anything like that.
But we are experts on us and what it's like to live with this thing.
I like that, experts on us. I think that's very valid. And this programme is sponsored by Cover Yours Insurance. From quote to claim, they're in your corner. You can contact them at coveryours.co.nz. And now that's the businessy stuff done. It's been a very busy week, hasn't it?
Well, I don't know about you, but yes, I have been a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah?
With stuff, life.
With stuff?
Life, yeah, just living the life.
And what's overwhelmed you, Emma?
Oh, gosh. I guess it's the usual thing. It's family. It's, the day-to-day grind of living with chronic illness. And try not to get too bummed out about it.
That sounds so depressing.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Do you want to talk about helping people who are newly diagnosed?
Oh, that is something you suggested, wasn't it? And I do think that's a really good idea.
I got the idea from you, actually.
Oh.
Because you said something about it and it got in my brain.
What was it I said?
You said... when people ask me for advice and I feel like I don't know what to say, sort of thing, to people who are newly diagnosed.
That is true. And unfortunately, I hear about people all the time. Ah, yes, you're talking about my friend's wife, I think it was. I was told recently by someone that, for context, that their wife had been diagnosed with Parkinson's and they'd had it about 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
And... they'd had to stop working and they were struggling quite a lot with it, and they asked if they could speak to me.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It is hard because everybody's different, eh?
Yeah, everyone comes from a different place, starts at a different place.
Yeah. What was it that stuck in your mind?
I think it's something that I hear a lot too, is people saying... recounting stories about the stupid things, the stupid advice they get. Like when they're in that space, they're newly diagnosed or they're dealing with something hard. The useless advice they get.
Fun advice we receive. Yeah,
and it is. It can be funny to look back on. Like, I think
it's not funny when you're there.
No, it's not funny at the time. It can be quite. I definitely have noticed it in my life. I have become the person that everyone requires a report when they see me, when they're catching up with me, on my health and how my health is, and it's kind of.
What do you mean by they need a report on your health?
Well, a lot of people seem to say to me now, Emma, how's your health?
How's your health?
Yeah, like where are you up to in the process, essentially?
Right.
And that. Which is a little bit of a different thing from being newly diagnosed and what people say to you then, which in my case people said to me, mostly it was a bit of a shocked silence and didn't really know what to do with that.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. I remember telling my friend, she was looking after my children, and I went immediately upon coming home from the hospital. I walked in and we decided not to say anything to the children because I still didn't even know what I had.
Right.
Yeah, I remember him saying, you have Parkinson's and you have Parkinson's disease. And I remember thinking, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, what the heck is that?
And I told my friend, I said, apparently it's Parkinson's disease. And she went, what's that? And I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. The only thing, true story, which I know you've heard many, many, many times, was immediately upon seeing the doctor, I was taken into this little room, and it wasn't even, what gets me when I think about it, is it wasn't even like there for us. It was like, oh, this woman's clearly really upset. We should probably do something. Because, being told you've got a chronic illness is clearly just like a part of, oh, that's fine. Thanks for that. I'll just go home. And I was, it's not funny. I'm sorry. It's funny in a black way. And my husband and I were ushered into this room full of machinery because it was clearly just somewhere where they kept some stuff.
Oh my God. Supply cupboard.
Pretty much. And this woman just went, oh, you're so young. You will be limited. And I was like, great.
Ouch.
It's not even funny, is it? It's like,
well,
you're 5 minutes down. You're doomed.
Yeah.
Because that's what you think, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, people don't really, it's like, what do you say? I had one friend who kind of started crying and I became the person comforting her about my diagnosis, but...
Yeah, that's always a good one, isn't it? Somebody did that to me at the weekend. I went out for dinner with some friends. It was like one of those like things where partners, it was a business thing, and there were some partners, and I got chatting to this lady. And she was really nice, and I can't remember why it came up. She said, but anyway, I told her that I had Parkinson's, and she just looked at me in abject horror, and then went, oh God, that's really awful, and started crying. And I just like, I'm just looking at her, over my glass of wine, going, it's not great, but it's okay, And she was like, I work in aged care, and it's really terrible. You're a poor woman, and I'm like, great.
Oh my gosh, that is, that's really. A really hard one to do. You have to laugh, don't you? But
I've probably done those things,
I think it's definitely the people that have had that have Parkinson's knowledge, like they've known somebody
or any illness.
No, I mean, but when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's in particular, that you either don't know much about it, in which case you go, oh, what's that? Or you do know, but too much about it.
It's the people who start talking about MS and motor neuron disease, and then you just like, guys, I haven't got motor neuron disease. Yeah. Like, oh, you're gonna your body's gonna shut down. No. I mean, it's not brilliant. On the scale of 1 to 10, I'd rather not have it. It's pretty much a 10, but.
But the but is it's not these other things, and to be honest, it's not really that comforting. I mean, it is and it isn't, but I must admit that I personally have also done the whole oh no when I hear people now saying oh so's got Parkinson's, or you hear about somebody famous in the news that's got Parkinson's, and I tend to go, particularly if they're kind of my age or even just female, I just go, oh no, that's terrible. I seem to relate more to.
I mean, I'm fast approaching the age where it's acceptable to have Parkinson's.
Yes,
so
65 though, isn't it? Like, what is the stats? Do you know?
Well, I actually Googled because it's serious research here at Coast Access Radio. Advice for the newly diagnosed in Parkinson's.
Don't Google that, though.
I know, but it's always so much fun. So the first thing is a little AI overview. Which is quite good, actually, because it says seek specialist care, allow time to process the diagnosis, and prioritise physical activities. So I would
that
agree
is kind
with
of
that.
okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
However, the next one is Boston Scientific. DBS for Parkinson's disease. For those that may not know, DBS is deep brain stimulation, a rather invasive brain surgery. Take our short quiz.
Oh no.
Learn how deep brain stimulation can improve your quality of life.
Right. Okay. So from I actually Googled it yesterday, and I found Parkinson's New Zealand's like they've done a brochure or a PDF file on advice for the newly diagnosed.
Yeah,
it sounds good, but it's a lot of stuff about symptoms straight off the bat, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to, like, if I was newly diagnosed.
Oh yeah, newly diagnosed booklet, that's good.
But would you want to read through a list of all the symptoms you might get? Because it gets quite grim quite quickly.
Oh, well, I actually did. I thought it. I'm downloading it as we speak, so you can get my first reaction. But I actually was given a booklet when I was first diagnosed. I will add that I was not given it by the hospital, who just sent me home with a prescription and there.
Yeah. I didn't even get the there's.
I hope things. Well, I didn't feel like I had really, you know.
Where's my there's New Zealand health system?
I want sympathy.
I got a really surreal kind of. Oh, you know, this will be bad, but chip up. What's the word? Stiff up a lip.
Come on,
off
people.
You go. You'll be fine.
Yeah. But no. Once I stopped crying about a week or so after, I went and found Parkinson's. Well, you know, let's be honest. You know, you go home and I've been told to Google reputable websites. I mean, really?
Yeah.
So I did, and I was told that I'd be dead in 5 years.
Oh my God! Really?
I mean, that's changed now, but that was good old Wikipedia. And it was pretty grim, to be honest. I remember thinking, oh, my life is over. I remember lying in bed and my husband saying, come on, you need to get up. And I was like, why? What's the point? And I did feel really, I felt, like it was all over.
They honestly don't give you much information, do they?
No.
Because they're afraid of that stuff. They don't give you useful stuff, and they tell you to research it yourself, which opens you up to.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But no, I eventually sought Parkinson's New Zealand, and I was given a booklet. So I'm looking at this now, and it's Guide for the Newly Diagnosed. Okay, introduction, Parkinson's, what it is, and what I'm noticing, which is the thing that I really liked about it, is there's no pictures.
Yeah.
And I like that because it means it's for anyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's dry, I'll give you
that.
Yeah,
it's very dry.
It's not the most exciting book I've ever read, but it's factual. And I'm somebody that likes cold, hard facts. So I actually quite like it. The future. Here we go. This is right at the end of the book. And it says 60 years ago, the prospects were very bleak. Blah, 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 blah. Anti-something I can't pronounce. They were not very powerful. The introduction of levodopa transformed the outlook of people with Parkinson's. Blah, 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 blah. We also know much more. Several countries around the world, scientists are experimenting with transplanting brain tissue, stem cells, blah, 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 blah. I think that's great. It says Parkinson's New Zealand recommends if you have any questions around your diagnosis, you discuss them in full with your doctor, which is very good advice.
Yeah, well, it is in a time where we have good access to doctors who know stuff about Parkinson's, but a few years ago I got a new GP and she said, the first thing she said was, oh, well, you'll be telling me about it because I don't know. I won't know as much as you. You're the expert. And
you're like, no, I'm just like, actually I'm a policy analyst. And
I can Google stuff.
Yeah.
And I
can't bend over in a morning, but that doesn't make me an expert on neurology.
But then the GP isn't an expert on neurology either. But they do they have to manage your medication. But I've lost that GP now because she left the health system.
What I really like is when you go see your GP and they go, oh, no, because they have to see you for that once a year thing.
The review.
The review, and you're like, are you aware of a cure? And they go,
you got asked.
No, I asked them.
Oh,
I was being sarcastic and mean,
right?
But like I was forced to have this doctor's appointment, so I went in and he said, how can I help you? And I went, well, actually, I thought I was helping you because you needed to see me. And it was like, This is one of those review meetings where apparently I have to come and see you so you can tick a box and say I've still got the incurable disease. And he just went, "You're not in a good mood about this, are you?"
When are you going to be in a good mood about it?
And I went, "Strangely not, no."
I had one exactly like that. I went in for my review because they told me I had to, and they said, "Now, what can we do for you?" And I was like, "You tell me. I'm here because you told me to.
Yeah.
I'm still sick."
I said, while we're here, you may as well give me a prescription. I mean, apart from that,
Yeah.
It beggars belief, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. But, I mean, back to what we should be.
I
How
was just
could
going
we
to say
be?
that. We should probably go back to it. So, what advice would you give somebody?
Well, I probably think that I was quite lucky when I got diagnosed, because the first thing I did was kind of go home and Google Parkinson's, and found one of the first things I found was Parkinson's New Zealand. I found Vanessa's email. Oops, should I not say her name?
No, let's definitely not mention Vanessa.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found
No, it's all right. I've asked her about this before.
Yeah. I found an email address for somebody who worked at Parkinson's New Zealand local, and I emailed that person, and they came and saw me the next day actually, and saw me face to face, and we talked, and it was so good. I felt like I'd been lost in the wilderness for so long, because I had been struggling with it for years, over a decade before I got diagnosed. And to have a label and to have somebody to talk to about it was amazing. And so I think for newly diagnosed people, especially people if you're young, like in the kind of you've got kids to deal with sort of age group, I definitely think that it's worth hearing from people that know and understand. Yeah. So, but and you've got time to build your network of support. So like, don't rush into like worrying about how you're going to fix everything in your life, because
I'd say
it's not all going to rush on you, and it's not all going to be quickly. Your life's not going to descend into chaos immediately. That takes time.
I think that takes time. It takes time and practice. And the best advice I was given was just keep living your life as normal, and don't, think that, just carry on the normal day to day. I think the worst advice is don't tell anyone. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. The worst thing you can do is to keep it quiet.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I really feel for people who do that. I understand why. And I really do, especially if you're maybe in that stereotypical male older person, maybe you're at the peak of your career or something. And for women too, of course. Because there is stigma and there is stereotypes, but honestly, you're only going to break them by telling people, and it's not as scary as you think.
And that can only be a good thing. And processing something on your own
is really hard.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly. There's nothing really to be ashamed of. Your shame that you feel is not.
Nothing really.
I mean,
No, obviously there's a deep shame of, no, but
you just got to see that shame and tell it that you see it, and it's not actually the truth, that you have got value.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? We all still have value. We all still have good things that we can do. I mean, I've since getting Parkinson's, I've had one business that tanked because of COVID, so let's not go there. But I've retrained, and I work as a financial advisor, and that was a really hard thing to do. And I've got a full-time job, and it's going really well. And I never would have believed that would have happened.
It does seem to kind of put I don't know, what's the word, a kick up the old rear?
Jacksy. Kick up the bum.
It gives you that sense of
urgency.
Yeah, that sense of I haven't got time to muck around doing things I don't want to do.
I often joke that everybody needs an incurable disease to kind of really focus their life a little better. But, I do think it's true. And I mean, the other thing I think, going back to like the whole point of advice and useful information, sorry, is I'm looking at Parkinson's New Zealand, which is a great resource, but you could get a little worried because it's got things like Parkinson's and sleeping problems, Parkinson's and swallowing, which can scare. I think that scared the life out of me when I first saw that. Parkinson's and the bladder, and you're thinking, this is cheery stuff. Diet, but everybody's always going on about diet. And what else have they got?
Oh, the advice to exercise, eat well, and get some sleep.
Yeah, but some of it seems brain inflammation, anxiety and motivation, faith. I'm afraid I don't have a faith, so I can't talk about that one. Meet a Parkinson's educator. That is very good advice.
That is very good advice, yeah. If you can find someone to talk to about it, like in Parkinson's New Zealand have educators in most regions. Some regions are you have to travel for, but or they might travel to you. And if you can't get someone to see face to face, on the telephone is next best, I'd say. Calling the 0800 number.
I'd also say that don't worry too much about all the stuff that you read, because it can scare the living daylights out of you, eh?
Totally, and it makes you feel like you have to, there's so much to do at once, so you can't really do just more than one little bit at a time, really.
Yeah, but there's no shame in reaching out for help. And there's no shame in going and talking to people. For me, I wanted to meet people who had Parkinson's. So I went off and found people.
And how did that go for you, finding the people?
We could have a whole
we
could have a whole programme about that one. Because it's not always the most easy thing to do, is it?
No.
But yeah, for me it was really vital to connect.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that alongside doing exercise, which you can do in groups too, it can be a social community building thing. But definitely, even in the work context, telling people at work was so liberating, and it just really helped me deal with it when I was out there.
Not everybody starts crying when you tell them you've got Parkinson's, which is
exactly
good.
Not everybody will burst into tears.
Some will.
Some will. Probably the large part of people will mostly just go, "Oh, I don't know what that is." I
generally have my PATA research now, but it has been 8 years.
What would you have said to kids at the school though? That was the one I found quite hard. Well, I get asked the most at school.
Oh, why have you got polls and stuff?
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Well, I just say I've got a disease called Parkinson's, and it means that I need some help walking, but I'm okay.
I would always say there's something wrong with my brain, at which the kid would look at me and go, and run away.
It's interesting you say that, because I was leaving leaving the radio station the other week with somebody, and they said, "Oh, so when you came in you couldn't walk very well, but now you look all right.
Yeah.
So are your legs feeling better now?" And I went, "No, my brain's working now."
I know, that's a weird one for me too. It's a surreal feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, and they went, "Oh," I said, "that's the weird thing." I said, "It looks like people are always saying, what's wrong with your arm? What's wrong with your legs?
What's wrong with your leg? Yeah, you've got a sore leg."
And you're going, no, there's absolutely nothing physically wrong with them at all. My brain doesn't work. It's quite a powerful thing, you know.
Yeah.
It can control your entire body.
I know, we sort of lose sight of it. Because we're not consciously going, now move that bit of your body, it just happens.
But you do.
Yeah.
And you just don't even realise it's happening.
But people used to ask me a lot if I'd hurt myself, like when in the earlier days I would limp a lot, and have you done your ankle or something? And I was like, sometimes I use that as an easy out, and would just go, "Oh yeah," or they'd say, "Have you had a bad sleep?" or have you, something like that. And I go, "Oh yeah, just had a bad night last night,"
Yeah, I had that. Somebody saw me early in the morning. I was a little bit twitchy, and they said, "Oh, I noticed you was moving around a lot. Is your back all right?"
Yeah.
And I just went, because I didn't know them very well, and I wasn't quite prepared to, dump my medical woes on the stranger. So I just said, I just slept badly last night, that's all. Because as much as I say, don't be ashamed of it and tell people, you don't have to tell everybody.
That's true, and sometimes it can be quite it can be quite weighty and use a lot of energy for you to explain something like that to somebody that, particularly people who are brand new to.
Yeah, particularly people you don't know.
Yeah,
because not everybody has a right to know what things are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say seek advice. Go read the lovely dry booklet from Parkinson's New Zealand. I know I said it was dry, but it's actually really good. I might put a link to it on my website, actually.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be quite a good idea, right?
And if you're young, come and find us.
Come and find us.
On the interweb.
Yeah, so you can find us through justme.nz or... you can contact me at kitty@justme.nz, and that will also find me and the lovely Emma.
Hello.
Hello. And thank you very much for listening. I hope it's been of interest. Is there anything else you would like to add, Emma?
Exercise. Have we said that today yet?
Yeah, if we haven't already, exercise is good for you.
Eat well and get some sleep.
Eat well, get some sleep and exercise. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and if you have any ideas or tips or what you want us to talk about, please let us know. Thanks to Cover Yours Insurance for supporting us, and thanks to Coast Access Radio. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Ka kite anō.
See you later.
This program was made with assistance from New Zealand On Air for radio broadcast and through the accessmedia.nz website. Thank you, New Zealand On Air.